Hey, what's going on, guys? It's MMA Talk and UFC Talk here. I'm joined with Peeps player, also known as Harvey, and today we're going to be talking about George St. Pierre relinquishing the UFC middleweight title. News was broken about 6-7 hours ago. It's hit hard, but I understand where he's coming from after I've seen where the injury actually happened, which you'll see the footage later on in the video. But I can at least tell you that it was due to an elbow to the back of the neck by Michael Bisping, which it was a complete mistake. Bisping didn't purposely go bang to his neck. It was after that when he was up against the cage, but we'll show you the footage later. But the main thing I'm going to ask now is, I'm here with Harvey, who's also doing the editing because he's a living legend. Harvey, what did you think about George St. Pierre versus Michael Bisping?
Well, I thought it was a brilliant fight. Well, even George St. Pierre did say that Bisping did put up a good fight. I did want Bisping to win because I'm English, he's English, but unfortunately...
I'm English, but I wanted the Canadian to win. Is there a problem with that?
No, there's nothing wrong with being Canadian, it's just...
He's actually French-Canadian, mate.
Well, sorry.
GSP fans, United. So basically, guys, if I ever look away from the camera, I'm looking at the screen where I've got the note. And a quote unquote on what GSP said, "I now understand the health issues that I had during my last training camp. I hope my condition would improve after the fight, but unfortunately it got worse. I had to go straight to hospital for a
It's colonopsy.
Thank you. When I came back from vacation, that's when the diagnosis is ulcer colitis. I'm not a doctor, don't bully me. And I am now taking
There's not really
medicine.
much to say, more than that. It's just saying,
Medication that will hopefully appease the symptoms. My health is my #1 priority right now. I am still a very happy man. Thanks for your support." Now, to be honest, guys, I understand exactly where GSP is coming from, as the injury could have been a lot worse with it being at the back of the neck. And one thing I'm going to say is, we'll show you the footage, but in the footage I will point out and do circles on it around where you see after that shot in the neck, his neck all tenses up and it puffers out as if it's swollen, and that caused GSP not to be able to move. So when he actually had Bisping in that rear naked choke, GSP couldn't move properly, guys, causing it to be so Bisping was definitely trying to choke him out because he was struggling with his neck and he just had to get the fight over and done with. But
because of GSP giving up his belt, there's going to be a new fight between Robert Whittaker and Luke Rockhold. Now, Robert
you do know you're a right prick for stealing my line.
He's 6 foot, 183 centimeters. Now, he has got a reach advantage over Rockhold. I'm not sure how much of that is going to help him. He's an orthodox stance.
You should see me on this footage. I'm shaking my head at you because you interrupted us.
What?
You interrupted us. I was about to say that line as well. Thanks, mate.
Wait, if you stop the record?
No, it's still recording, you pillock.
It's still rolling, but whereas Luke Rockhold, he is 6'3", which is 1.91 meters, and his reach is 196 centimeters, which is the reach advantage.
Reach, really, though, it can be your best advantage or it could be a big weakness. I mean, if the guy who's fighting, let me check, Luke Rockhold or Robert, if one of them, who did you say had the biggest reach? Because I'm not a middleweight nerd like you.
Rockhold, and Luke Rockhold has a mixed martial arts record of 19 total fights with 16 wins, 3 losses.
My record's better than
Robert Whittaker has, in his record, 23 total fights, 19 wins, and 4 losses.
Alright, but when we think about this, Luke Rockhold has the advantage of the length. Now, this was meant to be a GSP video, but we're going to probably have to do another video on this because we can go into statistics probably all night. But Luke Rockhold, if he makes one mistake with that punch and Robert Whittaker, I'm not even going to say his name anymore, it just looks funny. I'm just going to call him Roberts. But if Robert can actually counter that properly with a parry and get him with that outside leg trip or something, or into an armbar, it can force a tap easily with a parry. Can cause a very good submission. Kimura lock, takedowns can be used. I mean, if this was GSP, for example, the double leg would come into a picture. Now, UFC Facebook page announced it's official. GSP vacates Sir Robert Whittaker versus Luke Rockhold for the UFC.
Yeah, this fight
middleweight.
is going to happen on UFC 221.
You know I'm about to say that when I say them like the
Yeah, no, that's exactly what I said before you.
Honestly, we need to get each up. We need to make lines official, and then the other post said George St Pierre vacates explanation mark. Robert Whittaker versus Luke Rockhold will now fight for the middleweight belt at UFC 221 explanation mark.
I think we should also talk about UFC 219 that's coming up. It isn't really a big event, but we're going to talk
You do
about
know
the
this is a
last
George
one.
St Pierre video, so can I just say we could cover that in a separate video?
Yeah.
So we'll cover that in the next one, you pillock.
UFC 219, it's not really the best fighter card. You've only got one main card fight, but it's a title fight. It is, I'm not sure if...
Harvey, you're fired.
class it is. It's Chris Cyborg versus Holly Holm. I don't really know what much to say on that. There's not really...
Can I say this to the comment? When I say we'll talk about it in another video, means we'll talk
Yeah.
about it in another video. You'll see on the camera footage when you edit it, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Now, George St Pierre officially announced, my fight at UFC 217 was one of the greatest nights of my life, but I now need to take, fuck off Grammarly, but I now need to take some time to focus on my health. St Pierre said in a statement on Twitter, I will be giving up my belt, George, and that's what he said. Out of respect to the athletes in sport, I don't want to hold up the division. I will be giving my belt up once I'm healthy.
No, I think it's good that he's doing that because he's not holding up the division like you've got fighters like Conor McGregor. That's
We'll be talking about that tonight. We're talking about that tonight. I'm going to just...
he's holding up the lightweights completely, like, you know...
The fact they have an interim champ, I mean, that's some bullshit, that.
Fight against him, and Conor McGregor...
He's actually refusing to fight him. He's refusing.
Like, that's stupid because, like, there's so many UFC events actually coming up, like UFC 290, you could easily...
You better fight in London, because that's the one I'm going to.
I know, but that's ages away, and if you want to hold, that's nearly a year of holding a lightweight title.
You do know you're a pillock. It's actually been over 400 days since he's had the belt.
400 days?
I kind of like, I'm a nerd when it comes to these statistics.
That's mental.
I know. But to be honest, if this happened in the junior sport, we would have had it relinquished after 100 days. So I understand the whole Floyd Mayweather thing came up. I don't blame him. I mean, $100 million, I'm in straight away. You know, it comes to the money like that. I would go. But I mean, there was no need to hold up the division. You could have relinquished it and then been like, asked Dana for a title shot when you came back. But that's not what you did. It was bullshit.
It was just...
But George St Pierre is a very respectful person.
To get hit a few times there, like
You do know we're talking about a JSP video, don't you?
I know, but it's kind of still...
You don't know, but I'm now going to have to completely change his title to Everything in the UFC Today.
No, you can keep it as JSP.
I will be given, now, I was telling you JSP, he says he will be giving my belt, but it isn't saying he won't be fighting again. He says, once I'm healthy, I look forward to working with the UFC to determine what's next in my career. He says he does not know if he will be fighting at 185 pounds a game. I do not blame him. I hopefully want him to go back to welterweight, so we can I still do think he is one of the greatest fighters in the world, but he definitely is one of the greatest welterweights of all time. It's if not the greatest welterweight of all time. Like, that's how I believe he is. Now, what the next thing for the middleweight belt is that St Pierre's decision to relinquish the title has resulted in that match that we're talking about. But Robert Whittaker actually right now is officially the UFC undisputed middleweight champion. His first defense of the title, which was originally the interim belt, will see him take on Luke Rockhold in the main event of UFC 221. Basically, I'm going to give you my thoughts on JSP, and then at the end of this video there will be the clip of the footage. But my thoughts on JSP is he's one hell of a respectful fighter. He's someone who I believe hopefully will come back to the UFC, but if he doesn't, he will go down at least in the top 10 greatest fighters of all time. He's done everything in his career. I mean, to be the greatest welterweight of all time is saying so when you called that. I mean, we had the king, Conor McGregor, that fucking prick. That's my thoughts on him. But we'll do another video talking about McGregor next. But honestly, guys, JSP, I know he probably won't say this, but just in case something was to happen and he did say it, hopefully you do come back. But if you do retire, he will go down as one of the greatest fighters of all time. This has been MMA Talk and UFC Talk, and goodbye.
See you later.